Welcome back to Fourth and Fantasy. Tonight we got a special guest with us. Steve Stump from OG Fantasy Football is joining us to go over his first Dynasty startup. He's in these Dynasty streets, baby. But y'all know what it is. It's Fourth and Fantasy, and let's go.
Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't follow no script. I make my own lane, got a spreadsheet mind and a red rat brain. Dynasty beats got that tape in my veins while they drafting by names. I'm exposing their game, no cap. We study the craft like film room rats. Gyms in the fourth while they stuck in the past. It's levels to the dynasty, keep or flex. From rookies to pros, we demanding respect. That's real. And I ain't never need clout for my clout to show. Just a mic I take and a team I grow. This ain't just picks, it's principle G. It's fourth and fantasy where you build your legacy. We 10 toes down, yeah, we stand on facts.
We're 10 toes down and we stand on facts, which I already knew that. Fourth and Fantasy back at it again. I am Hancho, and all the way to the right,
Siriaco, call me Rocco.
and we are your fantasy playbook to more championship wins. And Rocco, the land of the what?
We are a fantasy football podcast for Dynasty Sickos by Dynasty Sickos. Everybody's welcome.
Everybody is welcome, god damn it. Hope everyone's having a wonderful night, wherever you're viewing us, how you're viewing us, what time it is. Glad to have you on. Make sure if this is your first time joining in, hit that like, share, and subscribe if you like what you hear and we are entertaining. But like I said in the intro, we have a special guest with us tonight. Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself, my guy.
Joe, appreciate the intro, sir. I am Steve O, host founder of the OG Fantasy Football channel right here on YouTube. And this is my first Dynasty League, fellas. And I appreciate the invite. It is been an experience to start with, so I'm excited. Excited for a new journey in my fantasy adventure.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Alex Bayer is in the house. He says,
Hey,
let's go.
Alex, in the house, sir.
What's poppin', slime? Mike Rob, glad to have you as always. The Dynasty Virgin sounds like an early 2000s Skinamax late night movie. Hey, we bringing it to you. Recording behind the scenes.
You gotta get the first one at some point.
For sure. And not Frank.
Emmanuel in Bangkok.
We are at it. Glad to have y'all fellas in the house. And we are talking Dynasty. And I remember when I joined my first Dynasty league, it was almost like, but not like, the first time you met a woman and you took her on your first date and you're like, I sort of like her, but I'm getting used to the ins and outs. That was what Dynasty was like for me mind you, I've always played Yahoo. I've always played ESPN, so it was always redraft for me. But Dynasty was a whole different other beast because of one, you got to keep your players, and it was year round. Where with Yahoo and ESPN, you played for a couple months, and then you got a little break. You hear me? So Dynasty was a whole different other thing. You got trade. Was able to trade picks. I kind of got screwed over in that first part because I was just going balls to the wall. F them picks. I'm trying to go for the win, but there's different strategies that come to it. You can definitely play sort of Dynasty as redraft, but Steve, let us know what. And sorry if everybody who doesn't know, Steve joined our startup draft that we just held. Shout out to Rago for getting that started with other content creators. What made you interested in joining the league for your first Dynasty?
Yeah, man, so it's been, I don't know, probably like 10, 12 years now where I've been just doing like redrafts and just trying to get the other dum-dums in my home league to actually do a keeper league. And like I do fantasy because I like playing it with my friends and family. It's not a money thing for me. So like I wanted to get a group of guys together that stuck around together. And we've been doing our home league now for going on 6 years, and they're still like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, I'm tired of waiting. I just need to jump in one. So like I'm excited, man. Like being able to keep your players part and there's no off season is what I'm excited about because in redraft I'm so invested in redraft anyways. I'm year long invested anyway. So to be able to get here in like a league with actual like competent fantasy players it's fun to watch. So I'm excited going forward.
I'm glad. We're always glad to have you. And Rocco, I just talked about my experience in Dynasty, but you've been at it for a little bit, for quite a while. What do you feel like you get the most out of Dynasty, other than that you don't get from Redraft or the other formats out there?
And I think Steve, I think your audio is still um, like sounds like a little more high than it should be, and it's a little bit robotic.
Sure, let me adjust it real quick.
Sure. Yeah, but my I started Dynasty about 10 years ago when it wasn't as popular as it is today. So the only way for me to play in a Dynasty league was to start my own and recruit some friends of mine. And we started on Flea Flicker. Actually, I don't even know if anybody's even played on that
No.
platform before. It's still around. I don't know who's actually playing on Flea Flicker still, but every once in a while I'll go back to kind of look at old drafts and how terrible they were, and all of the terrible trades that I did, 8 years ago. But yeah, if I didn't build it, we wouldn't have played in a dynasty league. So that was my first introduction into commissioning a league,
Mm.
and that league is still going today, 10 years strong. So that's my experience. I've seen a lot, been around a lot. I've seen everything you can see in dynasty. So I guess I'm dynasty unk.
Honestly, I guess more people know about Flea Flicker. I learned something today because I did not.
Hey, hey, shit, man! If Sleeper keeps fucking up, people have to go to different leagues because Sleeper, with all of the shit they've added, is not what it once was when it first came out. It's slower, it bugs out a lot more, and
Definitely a lot more. And
Yeah.
definitely a lot more when it comes to Sleeper. Emphasis on being slow, emphasis on having to close the app every 5 minutes because it just wants to do whatever it wants to do. But hey, you can try to draft a perfect team on there, right? Because that's what we asked for, or they can go ahead and try to nuke the QB or the push tush and have a QB rushing touchdown cost for 4 points. Stuff that we did not ask for. And then Frank says, Steve, we must trade. All right, Frank, you can't be out here trying to make deals out here on the live, man. Yeah. Oh,
you absolutely can make a deal on live. We made a
you're
live
right. You're
trade
right. We done it.
when you gave me that free second for Matthew Golden.
And it's
Mhm.
gonna be a wonderful time for me when Matthew Golden pops off. I tell you that now. I tell you that now. So, Steve, talk to us. What is your strategy when it comes to, and what up, Jamie? When it came to redraft, were you building your team? Were you a guy who was hero running back, pro running back, pro hero wide receiver? Were you, I guess, in redraft you were playing more one quarterback type of leagues? So what's your strategy, and what are you bringing over to Dynasty?
Um, so for a redraft for me, I am a huge proponent of waiting late to draft a quarterback, like seventh, eighth, ninth round, just because the dichotomy at quarterback is so deep in your one quarterback leagues. You don't have to waste your valuable depth pieces or draft capital on a quarterback because you can get the same production out of the 13th round from Baker Mayfield this year. I don't need to burn a third round pick on a Lamar Jackson. That's going to score me 10 less points at the end of the year. I'd rather just save the draft capital, invest in running backs and wide receivers. And we had talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago about just like building a solid core. You want running backs and wide receivers, and you want them young, but you're getting drafts because that's where your value comes from. That's where your upshots are. That's where you're taking your shots on lottery picks and not necessarily handcuffs. So I'm definitely a big like robust running back guy, but I'll take shots on my wide receivers late too. So get a couple good ones, build your depth up, and then as far as what I'm bringing over, like I know tier-based rankings are big in redraft community, so I was kind of just doing this weird amalgamation of tier-based rankings with chronological order involved in that too. So when I got to a tier, I knew which age bracket I was kind of targeting because I know in Dynasty it's I'm looking for a 4-year window, four
Yeah.
to 5 years. So from that point on, it was just kind of like, let me see what talent pool is in this area in my draft range, and let me try and find an age bracket that I like, just to kind of incorporate it into the team. It became more of a team build process than a draft a prospect process.
Yeah. And when I'm looking at Dynasty, and you hit it kind of right on the head, age very much matters. And not to it shouldn't be the all and all be all, because I love
No,
production. And I know some people who go way too hard and they have a whole team full of how would you say, guys that haven't proved themselves yet. So,
yeah,
and they go super rookie or they super young, where they not they don't love Derrick Henry, even though he's one of the more productive guys. Rocco, out of the years that you play, and especially as of late, how do you think of balancing the age gap between going young, getting that proven veteran?
My strategy in most drafts is to stay fluid like water early in the draft. Just depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm in the middle of the first and Josh Allen slides, I'm clicking Josh Allen. If I'm in the middle and Bijan Gibbs are gone, um, Allen's gone, probably taking Puka like every time. But as far as your question about balancing young and old, I like to get young studs early, maybe the first 6 to 8 rounds, and then in those middle rounds, that's where I'm hammering veteran production. That's where I'm getting my King Henry. That's when I'm getting my Chris Godwin. Because at that point, I don't care if they retire on my team. Those guys can lead me to championships. So that's basically how I build. I build young in their prime, not over the age gap, first 6 to 8 rounds, and then those middle rounds, I'm attacking veterans that I know are going to smash in 2026. I mean, look at King Henry in your redraft league. He's going
late.
maybe late first,
Yeah,
second round, and I
he's
can
up
get him
there.
eighth round as my first or second flex. Yeah, I'm going to smash that every
Mm-hmm.
single time. I'm not going to be an ageist in the middle rounds because I don't need all young players throughout my whole team. As long as my core is young, I can build out, everywhere else.
Super agreed on that one. Now you spoke on it a little bit, Steve, where you wait later on to grab yourself a quarterback. And if I go back into our league now and look at your squad, if it
Mm-hmm.
ever if it ever loads up, Mr. Stump Alicious,
You need me to do
who?
it?
Baba?
I can do it.
Mhm. Yeah, oh, you about to share? Oh, but
Yeah.
there we go. That's what that Stump Steve had the number one pick of the draft, and I honestly, in my opinion, hate having the 101 because it almost kind of nitpicks you in what you can go in or
Yeah.
what
Well,
direction
that's
you
what I
can.
wanted to ask Steve about because Steve aggressively he had the 101 and stuck with the 101, I believe, because we did a what you call that, a derby,
Yeah.
and I think you had one and you stuck with one. So, what was your thought? I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off. Cut you
Oh no,
off.
you're good.
Curious. I'm just curious about, you know, are you that locked and loaded to Allen where that's who you were aggressively going after?
For the super flex, yes. The only other option for me would have been Bowers with the super tight end premium in this league being what is it, like 0.8 points. Um, but for a guy who's going to get 100 receptions to have a zero point 0.8 premium is kind of ridiculous. But the only thing that like kept me with Josh Allen was one, it's super flex, so your quarterbacks are going to dry up faster than normal. And then two, over the last like 6 years, Josh Allen's finished as number one, number two, number one in fantasy points scored. So not taking the guy who scores the most fantasy points at the one overall just didn't seem like it made any sense. So I went and took Josh Allen.
No, I'm
And we
with
got in the closet, so
so is what makes. what made this particular startup different from me and from different from the startups that I've done this off season is where typically, or well, I say yeah, even this year because it's been different years past. These quarterbacks, it's always been Bijan, Jameer Gibbs, the first two off the board for the most part. But I think what a big part of, and I think any kind of fantasy football is knowing your scoring system and how guys get points. There's a reason why I wouldn't be mad if you wouldn't Brock Bowers at the 101 because of how ridiculous the tight end, and ridiculous in a good way, not a bad way.
Yeah.
The tight end scoring is in it. Even running backs can score, and then you got the wide receivers and how everything goes. So it's for me personally to see Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Drake May to go off the board for those three first spots, which allowed me to go. If y'all can't see that, trade up to go get Bijan, baby, because you know I had to go get me some Bijan. The running back scoring in here is stupid too in a good way. So I had to go get me either Jameer Gibbs or Bijan, and then obviously y'all see the wide receiver started to go off the board. Then if this was a like what when you're looking at that running back position, what really do you look for out of your RB1 or even your RB2? Are you somebody who is like, all right, you know what? I feel comfortable having no, not taking a running back in the first two and going to go get me on. Obviously, we can see kind of how you went in the way where you went Josh Allen and Loveland, but James Cook, Chase Brown, like who are if you had to name a few guys that you feel solid of having as your RB1, who would you go with?
So for me, when I'm looking at running backs, it's, especially in those first 2 to 3 rounds, it's all opportunity based. I'm like the opportunity is what matters most to me. Like Chase Brown is, I love having Chase Brown, especially where he's going in drafts this year, and James Cook is too. I just didn't want to, with the positions that we had in our league, having with 3 flex spots and multiple wide receiver positions, there's a lot of spots to fill. So I wanted to make sure I handled or wanted to make sure I loaded up on wide receivers because I know their longevity in Dynasty lasts longer than it does for running backs. And I know I can attack running backs through drafts and get my rookie and second year picks that way. So I wanted to establish a foundation. That way I knew what to attack going forward. So I loaded up and took Colson Loveland for the absurd tight end premium that we have that I love. I kind of wish I would have went Warren instead there. But as
You
far as
might
running
be,
back,
and Rocco, now if we're looking kind of at what was kind of transpired over the last couple months with Mananga recently going down, we've had Burden get banged up a little bit. I think Loveland has a little bit, now I won't say too much, but has gained some value, kind of like we've seen it with a few other tight ends in this early in the offseason when it comes to like Jawan Johnson with Jordan Tyson going down. I think it adds a little bit to Loveland.
I don't think he can go any higher. I think he's been at tight end 3 for a while now. So I just don't like. That's the reason why I player hated on him on our show with Chev. I don't see the upside once he's going at tight end 3. For me, I either fade tight end or I go with one of those guys I could get later on, like a Tucker Craft. I've been taking a few stabs at Tyler Warren. If I can get him in the fourth, um, or I go like super cheap. I go super late. I'll go with a guy like Rondé Gadsden, George Kittle, who I took in the 9th round. I'm kind of fading the injuries coming off of, just because one of our guys in our network, Ben McCown, who's a licensed physical therapist, he's like our injury doc, and he said that Kittle's Achilles injury was one of the more recoverable Achilles injuries that you could have. It was on the more faster timeline of recoveries for Achilles that you can have. So everything I hear is good about George Kittle. If he misses the first couple games, fine. I'll take somebody else. But that's basically the way I attack it. Is if I don't get Bowers, I'm probably gonna wait to the mid to late rounds on tight end.
And just like that, just got the notification. Steve just put Emmett Johnson on the board. Come get him, Frank. Come get him.
Everyone
Mark,
got a problem. No one is safe on this roster.
you put him on the block just now.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Oh
did.
man.
Come get him. Now, when you're looking at it, are you somebody with this being your first dynasty league? I'm
Mm-hmm.
somebody when it comes to it, like I always want to win. I don't. Some people believe in a productive struggle and be like, you know what, I'm just going to be somewhere in the middle towards the end, and then try to go get me a Jeremiah Smith in 2027. How do you go about it? Do you got the win now mindset, or do you believe in the productive struggle at
We're
first?
always trying to win. We don't lose. What is this? We don't lose here.
We
We
don't
don't
lose.
lose. Come on. I'm not giving you money so I can sit here and lose. I want to win.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to Rocco's point with the tight ends, I kind of did the same thing. I got in early, got one, and then waited till the seventh round to grab Kincaid, and then try to build depth there. But yeah, I was excited, man. I was right with you on that part. So
I'm making an offer. Frank, you were too quick with it, baby.
I'm
You
making
was
it
too.
now.
He said we're gonna make
Man,
a trade online. You better come right. You better come right now.
Devo is a great multitasker. He can talk. He can work the computer. He can work the trades. He can work the phone. Man, man of many talents here.
Now, now there's an element of dynasty that you don't get in redraft, or yes, redraft, whether it's on Sleeper, whether it's on Yahoo or ESPN, and that is you actually have draft picks that you are able to use at your disposal and to gain, move up. Like I did in the first round, I didn't think I gave up any of my first rounds. I traded a few picks to move up, but when you're now in the space of having a first, second, third, or maybe a fourth round pick for 3 years going after. So 2027, 2028, and then 2029. Are you someone who's like you're the Rams GM, F them picks, or you're somebody who's like, no, what, I want to hold on to my first, I want to hold on to my second, because you just never know how the season's going to start off with. So, like kind of Rocco said, you're staying fluid and having ammunition in your pocket to go get a team, go get a player if you see yourself in the middle, towards like the middle upper, like you feel like you can contend, but you're just one player away.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's the biggest learning curve for me is the future value of those picks. Because that's kind of like you guys are trading like second and third rounds for 20th round picks, and I was like, okay, that's where it kind of clicked. Like it's not all equal. So like learning where the balance is and like where the value's at was kind of a step up. And like I didn't feel so bad when I traded because I traded my first round pick for 27, but I did it to move up and grab a 4 pack of wide receivers that I thought had a lot of value. And if you look at the talent coming out next year, like where is the upside at? Like Jeremiah Smith, but okay, you got Lad McConkey, Rome Dunze, Marvin Harrison, and Brian Thomas. I think their ceiling's just as high as Jeremiah Smith if I went and even had the opportunity to draft him next year. So I just made a decision to go ahead and like invest now instead of invest later and get a group of guys that I felt comfortable with.
That's nice of you. Mike says that's nice of you guys to do a make a wish event and allow it to fall in.
We're not talking about two holes over here, man. This is a family show.
It's
Man, I was so pissed when I got the notification. I was in Michael's with my wife, and she was getting some shit, and I was glued to my phone because it was an errand that I didn't have to make. But I was in Michael's, and I got the notification that Steve got the 4.11, 5.2 for his first round pick in the 612. I was like, what the fuck is Addy doing right here? He's just getting value. And I was chasing Addy for the rest of the draft trying to get some trying to get some crazy value like that. I figured out what it was. Addy knew he would be on the slope somewhere skiing, so he didn't even want the picks. Um, but I don't know why he didn't advertise the picks. But Steve, could you take me into that negotiating room, how that trade transpired? Because I thought that was a steal to get those two, not
Agreed.
back picks, but to be able to get four picks in a row.
I'm telling you.
And that's besides the fact that I'm uh, the biggest Romo Dunze and Marvin Harrison hater you will find. Um, but how did that transpire? Because I thought that was your chance to really take control of the draft, having those four picks, that early in the draft. So, take us into that thought process and how that all went down.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe like Nardog like, sent me the offer to begin with, or was it me? No, I sent it and then he countered. But basically, it was exactly how I just described it. Was I wanted to invest in value now instead of perceived value for next year. But I mean, that was also looking at the tier of guys that I had. I knew I wasn't going to be able to come around onto the 6, 7 turn and have that same tier available to me. So I wanted to make the move up and secure those roster positions and have that value that I knew would be there. But being able to take four in a row like that, I think that's the most fun I've had in a draft in my fantasy career. Just being able to go, okay, I have my queue of guys. I know which four I'm taking, and go bang, 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 bang. Like that was a really cool moment to do. Like all like four players all in like 10 seconds. It was awesome.
I saw. I forget where I was when the trade went down, but I had a very series of words, and they were all cuss
Boy,
words.
I was so pissed. It's like, you motherfucker, Addy, what the hell are you
I'm
doing, bro?
like,
You just fucking nuked this whole draft with that bullshit.
he went first off. You know me, go dogs. I'm a big Lad McConkey guy. I still believe in Marvin Harrison Jr. Somewhere down the line, I think he can turn it around. So when it comes to guys that can still prove themselves and young as hell, so when you got that four banger, that I think that's if I'm looking at thinking of the startup drafts that I've done this year, I think that's probably the best. I would say the best series of being able to put yourself in the right position to get there, right? And I always say when it comes to any kind of fantasy football, but majority of the time with Dynasty, it's one thing to trade, but it's also another to actually be able to have negotiations with your other league mates and to be able to find a common ground. I think too many times there's there's people that want to outright win a trade where I think it's easier when you find a common ground. I did a trade maybe about one and a half weeks ago, and the guy he sent me a trade. Honestly, if it's something that's some bullshit, it's almost an instant decline for me, right? But with this one, I looked at it and it was actually for me it was good. I can't remember what the whole trade was, but to me it was really good. Accepted it right away, and he was like, "Oh, that was easier than I thought." I was like, "Yeah, when you start off the trade on the right foot, there's no really much for a back and forth."
Yeah, and that's kind of the part where I know I'm bad at because I'm going to lowball you. I know I'm going to do it because one, I don't know where the alpha's at, and two, I kind of want a rebuttal to begin with, anyway, just to see if we're even on the same playing field for a trade.
Hmm.
But after that, like once I start to learn the value here in the trade stuff, because I know later on in the draft there were certain guys that like I wanted specifically, like Haynes King, just because of the opportunity he could have to dual roster a tight end and a quarterback position. I thought was invaluable to have. So I wanted to trade up and get the value, even though I know he probably wasn't going to go anywhere.
Hmm.
Now, I think I tried to trade you to begin with, but I tried trading everybody in that round, and nobody accepted. So by the time the next one came around, I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to wait. If he goes, and we'll move on from there. But
Yeah,
the draft capital part, it's
How
still
did you have How did you have four straight picks and not take Olave there? I am
uh,
dumbfounded.
yeah, it was, well, one, this was before. to the Jordan Tyson injury reports.
For sure. Yeah.
And it was like, I figured
Jordan
there was
Tyson wasn't slowing Olave down.
no, but I mean, there was just more target competition, and it was just an age thing. I was trying to maximize age for talent, so I thought if I could get a couple year discount, then still get the same perceived value. That I'd rather have the age discount.
I'm not mad at it. I think if do you, I always feel like when, especially in this dynasty game, the way you play, kind of your mindset is always changing, and as it should. I feel like if you try to stay the same way, stay stagnant every year, you kind of get left behind. You should always be either a evolving or figuring out what you did wrong last year, unless you won a championship. If you didn't win the championship, you should always be trying to figure out what went wrong so you can do better the next year. What is your expectations for your first dynasty league? Like, what did you? I know you said that one, learning or getting a better feel for trade
Yeah,
values, and especially when you play in different formats. Like, I had to, when I first joined Devi leagues, which is basically another umbrella of dynasty. I had to learn the value of a Devi pick, which is very drastically different than a regular rookie pick in a dynasty draft, right? Or a dynasty league. So, with that being said, do you feel like do you feel like you're not, because shit, I don't know, for me 2027 first or damn near gold, I'm trying to hold
yeah,
on to those. For you, do you feel like it was okay to it was worth the, how would you say, the risk, or like, you know what, if I finish in the top four, if I finish in the top five, it's going to be a later first round pick anyway. It's not like I'm gonna be able to get Jeremiah Smith.
yeah. Like I had, kind of hinted at that earlier, but I don't know where I'm going to finish. Like I expect to win. I want to win, and I stay active on waivers anyways. So I kind of expected playoffs out of this team to begin with, especially with the stable value I have at wide receiver and the quarterback and everything like that. Like if I get a couple guys that like pop off here and get a couple breakouts. The only thing that scares me is the running back room right now, which is thin. But besides that, like I think playoffs is like a legit opportunity for this year.
Hell yeah. And then looking at landmines, who are some players or just positions anyway that you were like, know what? I am not touching this guy. I am not touching this position or this particular team. Do you look at it that way, or this guy plays for this team, not fucking with him?
Hetero McMillan. I'm not that guy, man. It's more of like a personality than a talent thing, but like just doing the scout, and I just didn't see it out of him. He's not my kind of receiver.
And
But, go
okay.
ahead. I was gonna say for the draft wise, like getting out of like the 6, 7, 8, I wasn't in love with the talent in those rounds, so I didn't mind giving up the 6th round to move up and grab a couple more of those the 4 or 5 picks. But yeah, like I said, like I don't know where I'm gonna finish, so there's no guarantee that I'm going to get a Jeremiah Smith or whoever is at the top of that board. But I know those two guys were there, so and I knew their value is potentially wide receiver one. So I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm gonna take what I can get now and know what I have moving forward.
Hell yeah. Now, when it comes to Superflex, which I believe our league is, because Rocco dreads one quarterback leads.
I ain't
Don't
fucking with no one quarterback.
don't
I'm
get him
good.
to no one quarterback
I'm
leads.
not. I'm not doing it.
How are you adjusting to Superflex and Dynasty?
Oh, I'm good. I've done it like Superflex before. It's just in redraft, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Longevity is I cared more about the longevity, which is why I didn't wasn't aiming for like Jackson Dart or anything like that. Like I know Trevor Lawrence, we have the little health issues there, but I mean, he's been healthy and dominant with some rushing upside as well.
Yeah. And Rocco, could
Yeah,
you could you click on Stump's team one more time so I could see where he selected? So he automatically got his two quarterbacks out the way. Mind you, I love me some Trevor Lawrence. He came back up. It used to be a point in time where you could have just sent out a late first. Now no one's going to really accept the late first for Trevor Lawrence, as he is now back in his prime Goldilocks age. And then you went Jadarian Price and then Merritt, Billy,
Yeah.
along with Dalton Kincaid. Let's talk about your running backs real quick. How are you feeling going into the season with them as your two running back pair? You also got Zach Charbonnet, so whenever he comes back healthy, he will add you some value as well.
And the Charbonnet one was only moved him, only moved up to grab him because of the Jadarian Price pick.
Mm.
And the Corey Krosky Merritt one was, I needed value and I needed someone who was going to get the ball just to score points at the position. And then, and Bill was solid enough analytically last year to where I didn't mind the opportunity going into his second year, where I think he should have a little bit of a bounce back, especially with Jaden Daniels coming back. He's not going to face loaded boxes all season long. So I like the opportunity there. And this is definitely like the main area to focus and improve on. But it was a calculated decision in the draft, was having one specific area to focus on going forward. Like, I'm good at quarterback, I'm good at wide receiver, so I know what I need to attack moving forward.
I mean,
If
hey,
I think about this trade, this is a hot trade, by the way.
no, I mean, hey, who would have known at this point of time, a couple weeks later, that Rashard White would get injured, and now it's looking like Krosky Merritt is going to have even more of a role. Kertron Allen showed himself a few little something. It's harder to tackle him as well, but I think with this particular one, that Billy will end up for sure having a little bit more value to him and getting more touches. And then if we look at it later in the draft, you did get Emmett Johnson, who Frank, I believe, sent out a trade. Now, what was about your scouting process? Because that's another thing with Dynasty. Redraft is, I guess you have to do a little bit of scouting into it too, but it's only for 1 year. Whereas Dynasty, you're looking or you're projecting these guys 1 year out, 2 year out, 3 year out. What is your process when you're evaluating players?
So, draft capital is important to me because the NFL is first and foremost a business before anything else, and I think people kind of forget that. You got to follow the money. They're not going to have people on their team or pay people that they don't want there. So when they invest draft capital into running backs or things like that, that's things that I pay attention to. And Emmett Johnson being, a pick that he is, he's still a young dude. He's only 22 years old
Yep.
and explosive coming out of Nebraska, man. So, like, I really liked him a lot. And, like, but being the number two, we know Kenneth Walker's injury history, isn't the best. A little shaky. So, young running backs, that's where a little shaky. No, but we know like that's where you get value at in your draft is these rookie running backs that pop off in the middle of the season, and that's kind of an approach that I took from my redraft experience was targeting value late and just hoping for a lottery pick later on. Same with like Trey Benson. Like I was just hoping maybe he gets traded to a team that needs a running back because I know the talent's there. Yep. And with Pacheco, that was just stealing a handcuff just to have, just in case, because the volume in Detroit's going to be too good to have if something does happen. But yeah, I was just looking for lottery picks, like some kind of stability, no matter what it was, and then just upside.
I mean, hell, Chris Bell. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Fun fact: when James Conner got hurt last year, our good friend was sending out first-round picks for Trey Benson.
Yeah, nice. I had Trey Benson because I needed running back. I was so excited. He was like, "He looked good for one drive," and I was like, "Mother, he's hurt."
Yeah. And I mean, hey, when you're looking at trying to take the value with the talent. Hell, when I'm looking at Chris Bell, who just now came off the NFL list and looking like he's about to ramp up and get back up to speed. And then you went Travis Hunter, where in the 14th round, I feel like that's good value, even if he is wide receiver 3A. You know what I mean?
That was a strictly talent-based decision. Like, he was the 101 pick. And just seeing him in person, man, he's a different athlete. I said it on the show. It's like when you go to a high school game and you can tell there's one D1 athlete on the team. Travis Hunter is the one D1 athlete on the team on the NFL team. Like you can just tell he's different. So that was strictly just talent.
Fizzle's in the house. He says, "What's popping? What's good, Juice? Hope you're having a good night, my boy."
Fizz was just on with our good friend Chev, man.
That he
I was
was.
checking out that pod before this one.
I was trying to. Hey, I was in that kitchen. I was in that kitchen making up some dinner, so I'm a little upset I missed it. But I know our boys held it down. Addy and Chev over there on the Juice League. If y'all don't know, they were over there doing what Fizzle created himself, the marathon draft. We got to get you on one of that's literally one of the most different drafts that me and Rocco have done,
Mm-hmm.
where you and Rocco, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's the you draft normal. Is it either you
You draft the rookies in the first 3 rounds, and then
thank
you
you.
draft the veterans in the rest of the draft.
So
Okay.
like, so adds a little bit more and a little bit. And I always love leagues. Mind you, when you're in 40 plus leagues at this point, you want some type of difference between them, whether it's tight end premium, running back premium, uh, super flex. I hate 4 point passing. If you do 4 point passing, don't invite me to that shit. I'm
Yep.
not paying with it. But when Fizzle introduced us to the marathon, the way he does it, it throws you off because you're not. It's not something you know before. At least in other startups, other formats, I've done several to where okay, you know where this guy's gonna go, or you know where this guy's gonna go. That goes completely out the door in the marathon, especially, and it's very dictated on the draft class that's in it. So it's going to be a lot. And Phil's the word, it's going to be a lot. The format is going to be a lot more fun in 2027, where you are placed in, or draft slot you are placed in. So shout out to Fizzle, man. I'm actually going after we out of here. I'm definitely going to have to run back and catch that episode to see how Chev and Addy did and on their first go around. But
Yeah.
now that you're in your first dynasty league, for me, I went from having one, falling in love with it. Next, I was in 30 something the next year.
Yep.
I don't recommend it, Virgil, but if you really love it, don't go and you can really you can like set up your leagues or set up your waivers. For me, when it got to closer to the 50 leagues, you kind of start to lose the fun out of it where
Yeah.
you're checking your waivers, you're trying to see what inactives is out of leagues. With sleeper, it doesn't tell you what league that an active player is in your lineup, so now you're having to roll through 50 leagues and when me and Rocco, we do our morning rush show. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure y'all tune in. The season's right around the corner. Sunday's about to get back live again. But when before we started going early in the morning, we would have to be rushing. And I mean rushing. As soon as we get off, we're like, hey man, we gotta go. I gotta go set up my lineup. All right, catch you later, dog. Boop, boop, and go get it. When you're looking at how you're in season, right? Because right now I still consider this as the off season. What up, that dude Danny? Hope you're having a good night, my boy.
Oh.
When you're looking at when you're in the season, because right now I still consider us in the off season.
Yeah.
Do you like for us? Me and Rocco always say if you're in the middle, that's damn near like being in the last, right? If I'm in the middle, I'm almost depending on the situation with my team. I'm almost ready to call it a season and pack my bags and start and start trying to acquire picks for the 2027 season. Now that you're in your first dynasty, how do you see your strategy or your thought process evolving as you go through the season? Because right now we've even dealt with injuries and the season is not even here yet.
Nope. No. And that's so I want to be patient and kind of like wait and see how the team is and how it fits together before I start like moving pieces around and anything like that. Which is why I'm probably gonna like reject this trade that Frank offered me. But
What's the trade?
it was a good one too. There might be a Brock Bowers involved.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
He's full of shit.
Cool. Hey, that's
I thought it was a spicy trade. It's a spicy trade. Like I'm gonna have to like seriously consider this, but No, it's just kind of seeing how the team is and develops. And I've been playing fantasy long enough to know not to count your chickens before they hatch, because you don't know what's going to happen. And any given Sunday, anything can happen.
Agreed.
So just that was another reason why I was comfortable trading away at first. Was you just brought it up a little bit ago? Was draft classes change year to year, so your implied value with those picks also changes year to year.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was getting here. So knowing what I have, I just kind of I'm gonna play it by ear, but I also want to take advantage of discounts as well. Like I'm okay making a move for Jordan Tyson just because he's a little younger or things like that. But I want to get to know like league mates, know their patterns, know their teams, know things like that before I just start trading away picks and players.
You're already talking like a seasoned vet out here,
Yeah.
especially with that last line, getting to know your league mates, because everybody is not going to have the same value for said player, said pick. Some people don't give a damn about any picks. They'll send that once again. They're the Rams GM. Fuck them, right? And some people, and you might feel high on this player while somebody else is lower on them. And before we get into more into that conversation, because I do have a lot more to talk about or ask you about, let's cut to this break real quick from our good friends at League Champ, where you can be the best ranker of the week and win a free NFL jersey while doing it. But you got to get through me, you got to get through Rocco, you got to get through Chev, you got to get through our boy Addy and many more in the community to win yourself a free NFL jersey. Exactly, Omar. Fuck them picks. Sometimes, but listen. That first year in Dynasty, I said, "Fuck them picks." I want to win my something. I'm right there with you, Omar. For sure. But we'll cut right back after this. Once again, League Champ. Tap in. You can download the app on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, where you can find yourself some player data, coach data, combine data, formation data. They got it all. And tap into the new feature, the marketplace, where you can put your team up for sale. But once again, this is Fourth of Fantasy. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll be right back. And God damn it, I swear to God, no, I had it right. It was right. Got that. Okay, there we go. Here we
I
are.
don't,
We are.
I
We
don't
are.
think the stream have a code, man.
What does that mean?
I don't see OG's co on there.
Oh no!
uh, yeah, okay.
Damn. Well, that's what happens in this land of technology, bro.
Fucking amateur hour over here. Sorry that you hanging
That's
out
what
with an
happens. That's
amateur
what
hour
happens in
over
this
here.
league, man.
Yeah.
But we were on the discussion of knowing your league mates, tapping in with your league mates, and figuring out how they value situations. I know you've only been in your first dynasty league for so long, but what are some pet peeves that you have in the fantasy football world that people do? Whether it's for us, for me, I give you an example. When someone tries to mansplain a trade and why I should accept it or why it's good for the both of us, don't do that shit. You feel me? That's the quickest way for me to. I think Rocco. There's a meme that Rocco used. All that. There are pet peeves you bang with or that you have
Mm-hmm.
in when it comes to fantasy football.
Yeah. So one is right on the trade pages. If you don't want an offer, just decline it. Like, don't let it sit in your inbox for 2 days, like collecting dust. Like, be courteous of your league mates. Just hit decline or let them give them a counter offer. Another one would be not having full rosters when you move players under your IR. That's just one of those little like nitpicky things.
Mm.
Like you move them into your IR, you got to open bench spot, and then like you see people just leave their bench spots open, and it drives me crazy, and I don't know why. Like there's just opportunity you could have. You're just leaving it for other people. Like fill your benches up.
I'm with you on that one. I think that also plays a part where, especially in Dynasty, I'm a big. I would say I won't say Nancy on it, but be active, right?
Yeah,
Where with redraft, you're in a way are allowed to step away and go do your own thing. But in Dynasty, that is 365, 12 months out of the year. Where if someone's trying to trade in April, not to say you have to accept it, but be around to at least look at it, right?
yeah,
And when I commissioned several leagues at this point, and I've also had to take over several leagues from other commissioners. Do you like when it comes to the having the most fun in the league? I feel like what makes a league worthwhile is one, cool league mates and not a shady commissioner that you feel like is going to run off with the money. Shout out to League Crimes. Submit them crimes out there. We're looking to hear about all the league crimes being committed around the USA, and we're going to air them out.
And overseas.
And overseas too, goddamn. 'Cause I know there's some people that play fantasy football overseas.
I don't discriminate against my friends overseas.
No, hell yeah.
nope.
Now, okay, when for you, have you had any bad experiences in fantasy?
Yeah. So as the commissioner in our home league here, we've had to kick a couple people out for trading players for money. That was like our first year we had to do that. We're like, give me $20 and we can make this trade happen. And I was like, okay, nope. You're out of the playoffs and you're taking money so we can trade players away. It's like we're done there. I mean, just that and paying a league fees, man. Just pay your damn league fees.
Oh shit! Now listen, if I honestly can trade away Bijan for like $100, I don't know. I might, I might have to
We're
do
not talking bad, dude. We're talking cash.
it. I might need that 100. Ain't you right, Rocco?
Man, no, I mean, I trust my abilities to build up a championship team to where I wouldn't have to give up $100 on top of my $100 buy-in to win like $800. So,
Yeah.
actually be winning like $600. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm not above doing what I ever have to do to win, but paying $100. I mean, if it's like $1,000 buy-in, then yeah. But the moment you trade, Jack Charbonnet in a future second for Bijan, the fucking league's gonna fucking implode. So like you have to give up $100 and make it look like halfway, like reasonable, like realistic. So like you could give that money to get to grease that trade, but nobody's gonna let fucking Tyrone Tracy in a future first go for fucking Bijan Robinson. So like, how much is it actually going to help once you start trading studs and picks, just and grease it with $100? Because the other way of doing it, where it's just like, like a taco trade where like it just won't pass at all, like the league will just fucking like, be in an uproar over it. It's just not worth it to me.
Actually, do you believe in veto trades or reversing trades?
Mm, it depends. Generally, no. But if it's egregious enough, then I think it's warranted. But for most of the like, instances, I just leave it how it is. Like that's how it is. Just don't mess with it because you don't know how things are going to play. We just said this earlier. Like you don't know what your draft classes are going to be. You don't know what injuries are going to be. You don't know who's going to win roster spots out. So just let it play out and let the chips fall.
Just public shaming.
Yeah. Yep.
No, literally. That's literally
Shame,
that's literally what
shame,
yes, that's literally what mine
shame.
went to. Shame, shame. Are there leagues that you just wouldn't join? Like 18. I know there's 32 teams out there. 32
Yeah, it's
teams
probably
out
like
there.
a super deep league. I probably wouldn't do like that. Not like a 32. That's kind of crazy at that point. But no, like I'm still open to doing everything. Like I'm in an auction league right now. That's a lot of fun too. So that's my first time doing an auction league with those guys at Fantasy Pros in the customer service department. So like that's a learning experience too. So I'm having a lot of fun in the auction part.
No, auction's a whole different. I did one time and I didn't know what the hell I was doing for the first like minute, 5 minutes of it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do and how?
Yeah,
What platform are you using? RSO or is it
League
salary cap or
Tycoon.
just auction?
It's just auction right now, I believe. They're using
Oh,
League
Lee Tycoon.
Tycoon.
Yeah,
Yep.
same one I used. Yup,
Yeah, and
before.
then they're transferring it over to Sleeper after we draft.
That's exactly what the commissioner did for the one that he did. He ran the auction on Lee Tycoon and
Yep.
then transferred the rosters over to Sleeper. No,
I
and
like auction. It's just you have to like I don't see how you can do a slow auction like where it makes
Yeah.
sense. Like you have to be locked in for like
no,
what,
locked in on your
4 to 6 hours.
phone.
Like
And
like
there's multiple
like
players.
babe, babe, go out shopping. Go see a movie. I'll see you tomorrow, kind of shit.
Because
Mhm.
if you miss it, you're going to end up getting outbidded on Jamar Chase. You're going to end up getting outbidded on a player that you like. There's nothing. Get you wrong. Don't hear me out. I hate getting sniped in a regular draft because you literally have no power over it. But in auction, I literally could have bet another dollar, $2 more. If I had a little bit more attention on it, you could have got your player, and that's what hurts most in an auction draft. 100%. God damn, I might have to do me an auction draft just because I haven't had that. That was my first time, and I always feel like anytime you hop into like a format for the first time, whether it's Debbie, whether it's auction, whether it's Dynasty, it's it gets like the mind because even auction is a different type of strategy that you have to do because you
Mhm.
can't spend literally can spend all your money on two players if you if you bang
Yeah.
around and do it wrong, right? So you gotta pick and choose what player you're actually going to spend your money on, choose what, and also I didn't know when you nominate a player, you should probably, unless somebody else, wait a little bit so people run out of money so you can bid a little bit more. So I hear you, man. I feel like at this point I'm really locked into Dynasty. I probably I'm so happy sometimes when a league falls short or crumbles because then I can join another dynasty and do another startup because I like meeting more people. I think when it comes to fantasy football, it brings people together and you meet other new folk out there and you can learn off of other folks too. Not to say I divvy off of my strategy because my strategy is my strategy. Rocco has his strategy. We're very similar in many ways, but then there's he has his way of thinking. I have his own my way of thinking. You have your way of going about your drafts, and I think I take a little bit from everybody that I play with when it comes to, especially in Dynasty, trying to figure out, all right, what can I do to be better this year than last year? Right. There was a point in time where it didn't matter what draft slot I had. I was drafting CD Lamb. The 101, the 102, the 103. I was drafting CD
Woo.
Lamb. Nobody was
Their
going to have
teams is
him.
fucking tanked too.
And it worked well until he got hurt.
It worked until it did.
Until it doesn't. It works
You
well
were
until it
you
doesn't.
were you were overexposed.
Very
Uh,
overexposed. So like one of the lessons I learned in my dynasty was don't be too don't have too many shares of one player in your portfolio, right? Have some diversity. Now, shout out to Omar, our good guy, who just said "fuck them picks" because he doesn't believe in diversification. He literally will go. He has his own kind of. I'm shit. I don't know what to call it at this point.
don't spoil it, but he has, let's just say, not traditional methods for picking his players. But it works. He won
It
like
works.
fucking 18 championships last year. So, you know, process that for a second. He's got 50 CMCs.
Shit, 50 Christian McCaffrey. I don't think that's not the bullet I'm ready to die on, brother. I'm, I'm
Frank's still chasing this
Frank
fucking
trying to get
train.
this
Let's do
job.
this straight on the podcast. I'm
I'm,
not
I'm
that
going to
high.
tell you real quick. Let me give y'all some background on why this league even exists. Right. Um, I'm in 34 leagues, and I really didn't want to do anymore. But also, I wanted to beat a guy you're partnered with, Matt Kelly, in a startup. And I knew he would join because I heard on the thing that he was still looking. So I started it. I saw your tweet. I don't know if it was like a new account. It just popped up in my feed, and you said that you were a Dynasty Virgin. So I said, "Shit, let me reach out to Steve, get him in the league, man. That'll be pretty fun." And that's just kind of how it started. And now we got plenty of really good competition in this league.
Yeah.
We got
Agreed.
guys that are in the public sphere as podcasters, and it's a great group. Pretty much everybody is making some kind of content. The only outsider we got is Omar.
He's not even
But
an outsider, for real, for
but I'm just
real.
saying, like that's how he would. That's how
Yeah,
he would talk about himself as like the outsider because he doesn't have a podcast, he doesn't have a platform. But what he does have is like fucking 18 championships last year. So he is the dark horse out of everybody because he fucking wins leagues. Like
Yep.
he won basically every single league we were in last year. So I have great respect for that guy. But that's how this kind of league just kind of started, and that's what it is today.
and Steve, for you
Yes, sir.
being in this league, like, what do you hope to get out of it for the most part when it comes to and less words popping your dynasty cherry?
He hopes to get the glory in that $250 or whatever it is.
Yeah, winning first and foremost. But no, like the learning experience, man. That was, I mean, one of the things I learned from playing football was, your team is never as good as, the sum of the party. It's never going to be as good as you are. Like you have to bring in other people to help it grow and evolve and things like that. And just learning from other people, learning things here and there, just being a sponge, man, just absorbing all the knowledge possible. And I learned quick. So it's been a lot of fun. And like, shout out to you for setting up like, the Killing Field horror theme. Like it's been awesome. It makes it feel like special and individual. And you guys are a good group of guys, man. Just a solid, like just chat is really good. A lot of information is really good. And like everyone communicates and active as well. So it's just going forward is just learning how to be, consistently competitive. Cause I've gotten to a point with redraft where like I expect to win a championship if I join a league. Like I'm
Agreed.
at that point. So if I'm doing dynasty, I want to get to that point as well where I know what I'm doing no matter where the draft spots are. But more importantly is just like getting to know you guys, getting to know the community, getting to know people behind us, because that's honestly been the most fun part of all of this has just been, hey, adios Crispino. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. But that's been the most fun part is just been getting to know everybody, exchanging ideas, exchanging thoughts, learning from you guys who've been doing this for, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So it's been a lot of fun.
I appreciate you, and yeah, definitely clear now. Yeah,
Yep.
shout out to you, Alex. Now, let's play a little bit of this or that real quick as we come to the end of the show. And once again, appreciate you jumping on, man. And
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to
absolutely.
have you on one of our morning rush shows. I'm not sure if you record on Sundays or not, but we would love to get you on one of the morning rushes.
Yeah.
It's we started it last year when we ended up calling it the morning rush because we was one of the few people who Rocco, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it around 9 o'clock, 8:30? What was the time that we was rolling around last
I'm
year?
going to tell you what happened. We did a podcast at like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock Eastern, and we were like, fuck. Literally everybody we know is also running their podcast
Yeah.
at 11. So not only do we have no audience. Everybody's audience is split between all of these other podcasts. So we said, "Fuck it, we're gonna be the first one
Really?
on in the morning."
Yep.
And we found our people that way. So that's how it kind of started. We just saw that there was a need with going super early, because once you go at 10, 11, you're not only going against your friends, you're going up against all the big guys. You're going up against the Fox pregame. You're going up against CBS pregame. You're going up against Yahoo pregame. Everybody who's
Everybody.
anybody has a pregame from 10 to 12 or 11 to 1, whatever coast you're on. So we decided to be the first people, and it could be a pain in the ass to get up that early, but it's also fun because we have
We found some
we
good
have the
peoples, man.
audience. We have the audience that keeps us motivated to getting up early and putting that on for the people.
We
But
We're up at
what we
6
really
a.m.
need
to
to
make sure
do-
these kids get to school. We're good.
and listen, we even had people showing up early on Christmas Day. Like we're like tapping in with us on Christmas Day, which we was like, all right,
yeah, that's championship game time, man. That's winning time.
so no, it was definitely for us
Got
a
dogs.
great time. Get the
Hey, who
dog.
you got? Who you?
Now
Yeah, let 'em
Dog
know.
in the league.
he wanted to say too, we got them dogs. Whether it's on in the background or in the lead, we got them dogs. Now, playing a little bit of what I like to call this or that for dynasty purposes. Would you rather have Drake May or would you rather have Lamar Jackson?
Going forward, I would rather have Drake May, but that was just because I think he presents enough rushing upside that I'm not going to lose any value going forward. That and his age I think Lamar's kind of hitting that like the pinnacle of his career right now, and I don't think there's much more upside to it. Whereas with Drake May, I think there's still some ascension and ceiling to his game as well.
Would you rather go Jaden Daniels or Patrick Mahomes?
That is a tough one. Probably for fantasy, you got to go Jaden Daniels. The rushing upside is just a cheat code for fantasy football, and just pray that he stays healthy enough. And if something happens, like that was the decision he made, and just move forward after that. But you got to go with the rushing upside.
Not JD5. You come Rocco. Not JD5 and his mama. Then stop it. Would you rather go?
A package deal.
Yep.
Would you rather go Justin Herbert or Dak Prescott?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm mixing youth with a little bit of production in there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think from the dynasty perspective, just to try to get my head out of redraft, you're gonna have to go with Herbert over Dak. Just Dak has the injury history. He is getting a little long in the tooth. Like I love the weapons in Dallas, but I just think for roster construction and longevity, like Herbert's the answer there, especially with Mike McDaniels running the offense. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch this year.
For dynasty long-term purposes, running backs wise, Bijan, who's going to be the RB1 of 2026? Jamar Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, or a dark horse of your choice in there?
Oh, it's gonna be Jahmyr Gibbs, man. He might break fantasy this year. Like I hated not being able to take him, but I was like, yeah, I need a quarterback. But no, he's my 101 in everywhere this year. Like the strength of schedule tipped it for me. Like him and Bijan were on the same, but having the easiest strength of schedule in the league is just going to be ridiculous. And his playoff schedule is really good too. So like Gibbs is going to be a monster, man.
And a very more dynasty related question, since age does play a part. Older running backs, and this includes Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. We could even, I'll say those guys. Even Derrick Henry, let's toss them in there too.
Okay.
Are you and Josh Jacobs? Are these guys that you still feel comfortable in dynasty going for? And I guess it depends on what round, right?
Yeah, it would depend on the round. The McCaffrey one is probably the only one I'm steering away from.
That substation going crazy.
Yeah, that, and I don't think there's value to be had, but I don't want that headache, especially if you're investing in him to be your RB1. Like you need that spot locked down, and if he's not there, you kind of shit the bed everywhere else because you've the perceived value that you had like is not there anymore. If I draft McCaffrey, I'm going to take value at wide receiver and tight end and quarterback because I spent the draft capital on him. So if I drafted him and I'm not comfortable, like that's a headache I don't want to deal with for the next year, 2, 3 years. So Saquon Barkley, though, I love the Saquon pick. And Josh Jacobs, if you're looking for value, I just took some Josh Jacobs in my second dynasty league.
I have him in a couple of places. I don't feel too great, but I have him in a couple of places.
Yeah, and that was just kind of another thing where I needed depth and security at the running back position, and I thought he presented a good discount with his value going. I think I took him in like the 7th round, I believe. So it was late. But no, I love the Saquon one.
I mean, it depends on when he was jumping over and hurdling over folks. He was going for top dollar. That probably was the best time to sell Saquon at that point. Now I feel like he's kind of having more of diminishing returns, and it also depends on how the other person views them, right? Last question, or not even a question, Dynasty related. What is your spiciest take for 2026?
Spiciest take for 2026. Dalton Kincaid finishes as a top 10 tight end.
That is spicy because I hate Dalton Kincaid. So
I'm big on the Dalton Kincaid train, and it mostly has to do with his advanced analytics and the opportunity he's presented with. And I made this case the other day I think we've kind of been spoiled by these like first and second year tight ends the last few years, and they're just going out and putting up monster Laporta years or things like that. But historically speaking, like tight ends break out when they're 26, 27, 28, and they've had some time to develop in the league. And when you look at your first round tight ends, there's like an 80% hit chance on them being top 10 tight ends. So like looking at value, like I wanted a first round tight end and he was late and his analytics are still good enough. He gets target separation. His ADOT is good. So I was full aboard the Kincaid train, man.
I kind of hate that spicy, but I can't. It's not because it's not a good one. It's not because it's not a good take. It's because Dalton Kincaid has burnt me too many times.
To be honest, that's too low. He's going to be a top 6 tight end.
Yeah, I was
even getting more spicier. We're getting
6.
Starting getting a little bit too high on my palate.
He's like the best tight end, in like every single analytical category. He just needs more. He just needs more touches. Fully healthy, looks good this offseason. The coach peak is right there. Yeah, get some Dalton Kincaid. Don't be late to the Kincaid train.
Yep. And I was able to get him as a stack with Josh Allen as well. So that was just a little bit of an extra bonus for me.
All right. And it depends on when I get, like, I do like a stack. Like, there's been times where, of course, if I have CD, I'm going to try to pair him with Dak, because if Dak is going crazy, then either CD, George Pickens, somebody's going crazy along with him. So, like this year, I paired Lamar Jackson with Zay Flowers because I think Zay Flowers is going. Dynasty is very about projecting, and then once again being able to look a year ahead, 2 years ahead, because really you're working inside a 3-year window. Where if you're not able to win, if you're not able to turn it around in 3 years or so, you're basically a real building in my eyes. So, and before we get out of here, is there a point in the season where you feel like, all right, let me just cut my losses and start to plan for 2027, or you're more of, no, F it, I'm gonna try my best to go, even if it's not looking good, I'm gonna try to will this thing and see if I can turn it around?
No, I'm always gonna try to win, but I'm still gonna try, and if I know like the end is the end and my season's done with, I'll try to make some moves, but not necessarily put myself in a negative position. I don't play to lose. That's not my mentality. That's not how I play the game. But I'm not going to sit back and just – I'm going to try to be proactive about the situation. I'll make moves on the offseason. I'll trade picks away, but I'm not going to sit there and trade everybody, trade my future and trade first and all that just to try and get a chance to get in the playoffs. So we'll just try and grow and rebuild from where we're at.
You hear that, Frank?
It wouldn't even make sense for you to pivot to a rebuild because you don't have your first. So
Yeah.
You can't pivot into trying to get a Jeremiah Smith or a Cam Coleman, Arch Manning because you don't have the first. You can get better, I guess, second, third, and fourth round picks, but
Mm-hmm.
at that point you're getting into dark throw territory anyway.
Yeah.
So I agree. You're in a win now mode after you traded that first.
Hell, I think
Yeah.
even with Josh Allen, you can if everything doesn't go right, flip his ass for some picks, and you're back at it. But
Yep.
obviously, you took him at the 101. You hope to hold on to Josh Allen. He's another one who, if I taken over team, he was on my team. Get that boy. I'm shipping his ass out quick.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, Steve, for hopping on Fourth and Fantasy. Appreciate you always. We'd love to hop on your show and talk ball with you. I love meeting new people in this space. I think that's one of the few things that I very much appreciated in the last. I don't know, Rock. We've been at this for almost 2 years now. I think this will make our second. October is our 2 year that we've been knocking it
Okay.
out, going into our season 3 of the pod. So it's new faces and having new people in leagues,
Mm-hmm.
learning from new people because once again, there's always something to learn from somebody, and
Always.
what how Rocco thinks not how I think sometimes, how I think is not how he thinks, and I take some bits from Rocco. Hell, he's the reason why I have so much Tyler Shook on across my team at this point.
Listen
So,
to smart people.
you
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
Yep.
So I feel like you can take a little bit from the your league mates that you're in, but let them
Absolutely.
people know where can they find you, and what you have coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So on X, we're on the OG Fantasy FB. Tags down there right below. Facebook or YouTube is the same thing, just ogfantasyfootball.com. That's the website as well. We do articles, all that fun stuff. But yeah, man, like the next month, we got a loaded schedule. Zayn Denani, we got next week. We got who else? We got Frank Amaretti, we got on the show. Tyler Show, shout out Tyler Shaw. And then we got Kelly Singh in October as well. So we got like a lineup, man. We got people signed up here. We're making moves. So it'll be fun to meet all these people in the industry, get to hear their voices, get to hear, like, pick their brains a little bit, So I'm excited.
Hell yeah. And we would
Yeah.
love to have you back on during the season, man, to really
I
go
would love to be back. Yes, sir.
to see how one the league is going with that we're in, and just to see if you're going to be in 30 by the time next year rolls around. But that has been our show. Y'all know what it is. Fourth and Fantasy, your fantasy playbook to more championship wins. If you didn't know, now you know. My name is Hancho, and to my far right,
Siriaco, call me Rocco.
and let them know where the land of Rocco.
No Fantasy Football Podcast for Dynasty Sickos by Dynasty Sickos.
Everybody's
welcome.
welcome. And hope everyone has a good rest of your night. Once again, however you view us, when you're viewing us, whether you're in your bed or on the toilet, hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you find us entertaining, come back onto the show. And once again, appreciate you, Steve, for hopping on. And remember to hop on League Champ to be the best ranker during the season to win yourself a free NFL jersey. I got myself a George Pickens jersey and also an Ashton Genty jersey last year. You already know what Rocco got. He got a handful of them things. Alvin Kamara, I think a Puka Nakua. So, like I said, you got to go through us if you want to, and our good friends in the league and other leagues as well. Chev, Addy, Ben, you name it. They're on League Champ. And you can also find combine data, lead data, formation data, coach data. They got it in one place. And also, if you want to sell your team, hop into the marketplace. But this has been Fourth and Fantasy. Once again, y'all enjoy your night. Till next time. Yeah.